Assalamu alaikum. This video was made on the request of one of my follower on TikTok, and I hope everybody will benefit. This video is actually for those who are just starting to merge the words together and they have a difficult time to merge the two words together. So let's begin this small tutorial where I will be explaining you and making it easy for you, inshallah, how to connect or merge the two words together. So let's begin. As you can see here on the slide, merging two words using sukoon and shadda. So just keep in mind, when you're trying to merge two words together, you cannot merge the first word with the second word if the second word doesn't have shadda or sukoon on it. It cannot be merged. Okay, so we can try to look some of the examples, and inshallah after the end of this small tutorial you will be able to understand exactly how to merge the two words together. Sukoon itself cannot be pronounced. Okay, to pronounce the sukoon over an alphabet, you must have the previous alphabet with some kind of harak. It can be fatha, it can be dhamma, it can be kasra. Let's try to make some small example using the English words. Okay, you can see here on the slide that I have used some English words and I have made it easy for you to understand when you see a sukoon in an English word. Now, for instance, here in this word market. So before you complete the word market, you pause for a while on R, market. So what basically is happening here, the letter R is having sukoon on it. Okay. Similarly, cartoon. So before you finish the whole word saying cartoon, you pause for a while on car. So on R is resting sukoon. So that's how exactly it's happening when you put sukoon on top of an Arabic alphabet. Okay, you need to pause there for a while before you continue to the completion of the word. And in the third example, you can see like it's mental. So the sukoon is resting on the N sound. So before you make mental, you stop for a while on N and you say like mental. So there is a sukoon on top of the N, and same as doctor, there is a sukoon resting on C. So this is something about sukoon. In this slide, you can see like I'm having an example of sukoon, whereas you can see here, I have already transcribed this Arabic word akbar in English for you to understand that where is sukoon sitting on English akbar. So in Arabic, you can see like it is sukoon is right here sitting on kaf. Okay, and then if you transcribe the akbar from Arabic to English, you can see the same sukoon is resting on top of the English character, that is K, and you need to pause on K for a while before you finish reading the whole word, that is akbar. Let's try to read it, akbar. And similarly in Arabic, akbar. Okay, let's continue and make some other example here. Al-yaqeen, and in English, I have transcribed it also as al-yaqeen. Okay, here, what's happening here? You can see like on lam, we have sukoon. Yeah, similarly in English, on L, we have sukoon. Okay, so what you do? You need to rest here for a while before you continue. So it becomes like al. Okay, same thing here, al. Okay, and then you proceed to the next one, yaqeen, and similarly here in English, yaqeen. Okay, so on N here on the last one we have sukoon. Similarly in Arabic, in the last one also we can see like it's having sukoon. Okay, so that's basically how you pronounce sukoon on top of an Arabic alphabet. Let's continue and make another example. Zulzilati, as you can see on the screen, and I have transcribed in English, Zulzilati here. Okay, now you can see that I have color coded sukoon in green color for you to understand where exactly is sitting the sukoon. So in this case, you can see like in Arabic, we have the sukoon resting where? Resting on the lam here. You can see that, okay, on the lam. So similarly, you can see like the sukoon is also resting on lam in English transcript. Before you read the whole word zulzilati, you need to pause for a while till sukoon, that is zul, then you proceed and complete the whole word zilati. Okay, together zulzilati. Okay, here you have the sukoon resting on ta. So you can see here I have also transcribed in English. The Arabic word is fawasat nabihi. Okay, so you can see the ta is having the sukoon. That means we need to read the whole word till here, okay, and pause on ta before we continue reading the whole word. So in this case, I read fawasat, I stop here, na bihi, okay. So now let's progress to shadda, and as you can see here on the screen, shadda cannot be pronounced alone. If you see shadda standing on noon, it has nothing to do with pronunciation. To pronounce the shadda, the previous alphabet must have any kind of harakah. Okay, so it can be fatha, the previous alphabet, or it can be having kasra, it can be having dhamma, it can be having kasratain, fathatain, dhammatain. It depends what is the previous alphabet and what kind of harakah is present on them. Then you blend, then you merge. In shadda, you have to pronounce that alphabet twice. Okay, we can do the examples so that you can see what exactly I'm talking about. You can also see in the slide here the rules for pronouncing shadda is that if you see a shadda on top of any alphabet with any of the vowels like fatha, dhamma, kasra, fathatain, dhammatain, or kasratain, then you have to read that alphabet twice. Okay, how can I read that alphabet twice? It's very easy. Let's check the next slide. Can you see that the word rubber, when you say the word rubber, you need to repeat the B twice. How do you know that? When you say rubber, you say rub and then you continue with another B to the end and say bur, rub, bur. Okay. Similarly, you have also the word called blossom here. You need to go for blows and then you complete the word with zom. See, blossom. Okay. You repeat the letter S twice. So what's happening on that double letter? There is a shadda on it. That's why you repeat it twice. Okay, so I hope that was clear how you break the shadda into two components. That's the two components is then making you to pronounce that alphabet twice. Okay, so here you can see I'm having a word called kulli. Automatically you heard me repeating the lam sound twice, kulli. Okay, so now you know that on the lam we have shadda, and below the shadda you have kasra. Am I right? So you have to break that component into two. How will we do that? You see that here on the lam, I have brought it down for you to understand what is happening here. First, you need to break the lam into sukoon. You can see here. Okay. So what you do? I'm going to read the word kulli in one component. That is kul. I finished reading the first component of shadda. That is kul. Okay. Now let's go and check what harakah is there below or above the shadda, and we have kasra. Okay, so now you have to break the second alphabet of lam into second component, that is lam kasra. Okay, now I'm going to read the last part of the shadda, that is li. Now I'm going to combine both of them. The first component is sukoon, the second component is the kasra below the shadda. You cannot ignore the harakah above the shadda or below the shadda. You have to pronounce it. So in this case, I break it into kul li. Okay. First, I connected the kul with the sukoon of lam, and then the remaining part of lam kasra, I pronounced it. So it becomes like kul li. You see, a strong connection of shadda you can already notice in my pronunciation. Kul li. Kul with sukoon, li with the kasra. Okay, I hope that was easy for you to understand, inshallah. So we can go to the next one. As you can see here, there is another example that we will break into two components, and you know that which component is to be broken. Yeah, that is the za here. You can see here za, because za is having shadda. Okay, so in this case you have to divide the za into two, the dha with sukoon and the second one is dha with kasra. You cannot ignore the kasra here. It has to be pronounced. That's why we break dha into two components, dha sukoon and dha kasra. In this example, now we'll try to read it. Okay, we are going to try to read it. Yuqadh. Okay, yuqadh, the first part of sukoon, and then the second part of the word, that is kasra below the dha. Okay, that is the kasra below the shadda. You cannot ignore it. So you have to say the. So in this case, it becomes like yuqadhibuka, yuqadhibuka. Okay, so you stress more on shadda first you give a pause and then you read the remaining part of the vowel present on top of the shadda or below the shadda. So now, and the most important thing is the merging the words together. Okay, to merge the words together, there are two vowels, and without them you cannot merge it. Please keep that in the mind. Without two vowels, you cannot merge the two words together. So in this case, you can see like there is sukoon and shadda. These are the most important vowels when you need to connect the previous word to the second word, if only the next word is having sukoon or shadda. Okay, so now just imagine that you are going to a restaurant and you need to find a Wi-Fi, and you ask your mobile to look for the Wi-Fi signals. You found something like a little robot that you can see here. It spotted that there is a connection available, but the problem is here there are no signals. When you see there are no signals available, so no matter how you try to connect to the internet, you are not able to connect. Okay, so what is the next step you will take? You will start looking for some other connections that are having signals. So when you connect to the correct network and you got signals, your internet starts working. So let's keep this one in the mind and let's make some practice, because it's very important to understand this basic rule of our real life. So let's begin. You can see here I'm having two words. Okay, I'm having two words. Humu al-khasirun. I didn't connect them. I just read it without connection. This one is with sukoon. Okay, that's why you need to understand how to connect, how to jump, how to merge the two words together. Okay, as you can see here, the meme have dhamma. Okay, the word finishes with dhamma, and the second word is starting with alif here, and you can see that alif is in red in color. There is a reason why I put alif red in color. You remember about the previous slide, I told you that if there is no connection, you cannot connect to the internet. Am I right? So consider this Wi-Fi without signals. Okay, this alif has no haraka. You are going to completely ignore it. You cannot connect to this anyway. Okay, so now what you do, this dhamma is now looking for a Wi-Fi signal, or let's say like for one alphabet that has haraka on top of it. When it scans the next word, okay, you can see like alif is having no haraka. So what happens? This is going to be ignored. The meme dhamma doesn't want alif anymore. Okay, so now it's looking, is there something else after alif with some kind of haraka? Remember, only shadda or with sukoon. And what did meme find out? The meme saw that lam is having sukoon. Okay, very good. So now what it needs to do? It needs to connect. You can see on the green arrow that the meme is now going to connect with the lam. Okay, now it got connection. So now how will you connect the both words? Instead of reading humu al-khasirun, now you read humul. You see, you jump the meme dhamma and you connect to the lam sukoon. Humul khasirun. So you can see that the transcript in English is also placed down here. You can check how we read it. Humul khasirun. Okay, so that was the connection. Similarly, in the next slide, you can see like I have two words. Yawma al-qiyamah. I'm reading these two words separately. But now I need to check, do I really need to connect them? And the answer is yes, I do need to connect them. How? Same we did in the previous slide, that the meme, the first word is finishing with meme fatha. Okay, meme fatha. So what happens? Meme is going to look, if the second word is starting with any kind of haraka, that is sukoon or shadda, then when it spots that alif, again, it doesn't have any haraka, it's going to ignore it. Okay, it's going to ignore it. So then it's going to jump to the neighbor alphabet, and it finds out that lam is there, and lam is having sukoon, and this is what exactly meme was looking for, to connect. Okay, so what happens? Meme is going to connect with lam. Before we read yawma al-qiyamah, now you need to read it yawmal qiyamati or yawmal qiyamah. Okay, that's how you connect the two words together. Keep one thing in the mind here. If the alif here was having fatha, okay, then you cannot connect mim with lam, because the second word already started with fatha or kasra or dhamma. So you cannot connect the two words. The connection is only available when the second word, the first alphabet, is silent, that is without any Wi-Fi signals or without any haraka, then only you can connect. Otherwise you have to read them individually. Okay, now let's try to make this example, because this is also becoming a small interesting. So you can see like I'm having two words like fi al majalis, fi al majalis. I'm reading two separately. I didn't connect them yet. Okay, now the first word is having fa, okay, the letter fa here, followed by ya. Am I right? And the second word is starting with alif. Why did I put it in red color? Because even in the first word, ya is silent. There is no haraka on top of ya. So this is ignored. I'm going to put a cross here. Okay. And the second word itself starts with alphabet without any signal, without any haraka. I'm going to put it cross. I don't want to look at it. Okay. So what is fa looking for? The fa is looking now. So the second word with any kind of haraka. Any kind of haraka means sukoon or the shadda. When it finds out the second word is starting with alif without any haraka, it's going to check for the second word and it finds exactly what it needs, and that is sukoon. So it needs to connect fa with lam. Okay. So in this case, now it's 100% confirmed that these two words need to be merged. So before we read fi al majalis, now it becomes fil majalis. Okay, you see how it's working. So inshallah, as we progress everything, it will become easier and easier. Now we finished sukoon. Okay, I told you previously, to connect and to merge the words together, what has to be common? The second word must have sukoon or shadda. In this slide you can see like I brought shadda now. So let's try to figure out how shadda is working. Now you need to be sure how to make the sound of shadda also, because you know when shadda is placed on an alphabet, that alphabet needs to be pronounced twice. When you see two words, first I'm going to read it for you separately. Qulubi alladhina, because I know it need to be connected. I need to find a way for the connection. Okay, so what happened here? You can see like the letter wow here is silent. It is ignored. Whenever you see an alphabet with no haraka, it is silent. Anyway, the job of wow was done by lam dhamma, lu, qulu. So we have no problem. Now you can see the ba is having kasra. The last alphabet of the first word is having kasra. Now what it needs to do? It needs to check if the word next to it, that is the word next to it is alladhina, this one, it sees that it starts with alif, but alif is having no haraka. It's going to ignore it. Then what's happening? It's going to check if the alphabet after alif is having any kind of haraka. It founds like lam is having shadda, and you can see that here lam has shadda. So what happens now? Now be careful, because now you need to pronounce the lam twice. Remember how to pronounce the lam twice, yes? The lam itself here is broken into two components. One is with sukoon and the second one is with fatha. From where did we get the fatha? Fatha is right on top of the shadda. We cannot ignore it. It has to be pronounced. Okay, so when you break it into two parts, okay, then you have to connect them and you have to say, and now it becomes qulubil ladhina. Okay, qulu here, bil here you're going to connect it. Bil, I put a pause because of lam sukoon. Now I need to continue. I still need to read that fatha on top. So qulubil ladhina. Okay, you can see in an English script here, qulubil ladhina. So let's continue. Here we have two words, fihi al-rahma, okay, or fihi al-rahmatu, the way you want to read it. Okay, so now what happens? There are two words, okay, and the first word is finishing with ha kasra. Can you see that? The first word finishes with ha kasra, but the second word begins with alif and lam. Can you see this? Alif and lam. Here, alif and lam has no harakah. Now I'm going to make it red in front of you, this one, because this one has to be ignored. I made it red because the ha here cannot be connected with any of the alphabet without harakah. So now to connect them, there has to be sukoon or shadda. Now that's what ha is going to find out. Ha is starting to scan alif, no harakah. It comes to lam, no harakah. It comes to ra. Okay, now ra is having shadda. So the letter ha is very happy now. It needs to connect to ra. Now, because ra is having shadda, and you know that shadda has to be read twice. First shadda has to be read with sukoon, you can see here. And the second part of the shadda, that is the second vowel on top of shadda, that is fatha, has to be also pronounced. So you break the ra into two components and you cannot read it separately now. So now we read before like fihi al-rahmatu. Now you read it fihir rahmatu, fihir rahmatu. You connect them together. Okay, I hope that was not so difficult to understand. So in this example, we can also see that I brought two words. One is mulku and another one is al-samawati. I'm reading it separately. Okay, here the first word is finishing with kaf here, and kaf is having dhamma. Okay, now because kaf is ending with an harakah, it needs to see if the second word is standing by itself. Like if the second word has the first word with any kind of harakah, like let's imagine if alif is having fatha here, I'm putting fatha in front of you, alif is having fatha, so then automatically kaf cannot connect to the shadda on sin. It cannot. Then automatically the second word alif is going to connect with shadda. So it becomes like mulku as-samawati. But here the case is different. The second word here is having alif and lam. And once again, alif and lam is standing without any harakah. So what happens? Ignored. The kaf dhamma is going to ignore it. So kaf is then looking to the third alphabet, that is sin. You can see here, that is sin. And sin is having shadda. Is very happy now. The kaf, it can connect to sin. Sin, because it has shadda, the sin has to be broken down into two components. The first component is the sin with sukoon, and the second component, which is the vowel on top of shadda, that is fatha. So now you know that you have to pronounce the alphabet sin twice. Okay, that's what is going to happen in this pronunciation. So let's try to pronounce. Before we read it like mulku al-samawati. Yeah. Now we are going to connect them together using the rules of connection, of merging the words together. And now you read it as mulkus samawati. Mulkus samawati. I'm going to connect the kaf with sin. And you can try to repeat it after me. Mulkus samawati. Sin was pronounced twice. Okay, so we can now try to read one ayah. Okay, this is from Quran, Surah Al-Qariyah, verse number 5. And here we are going to connect the words together. And here I have made the color coding, which will become easy for you to understand where to connect and why to connect. You can see the noon and the lam here. The noon and the lam is green in color. That is what you're going to connect. Okay, and noon here and lam here is also green because you need to connect them. Okay, so when you connect them, you have to apply all the rules that I explained you earlier. That is the first word here and the second word here. Okay, the first word finishes with noon dhamma. The most important is if the word is finishing with harakah. Okay, and then the second word is starting with an alphabet without any harakah. So that means keep in the mind that this has to be somehow connected. Okay, so in this case, Noon is looking for another alphabet in the second word to be connected. It finds like Lam is having Sukoon. Okay, so now you have to connect the two words by saying وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ. The Noon jumps to Lam to connect. Similarly, let's try to do the third word here, third word, and the fourth word here. Okay, what's happening? كالإحن المنفوش. Okay, once again, the third word is ending with a haraka, so it needs to check if the fourth word is also having something to connect. Okay, the second word starts with alif, which you can see it's ignored. And then what happens? The Noon started looking for some other alphabet with haraka, that is shadda or sukoon. It finds like Lam is having sukoon, so now the Noon is happy to connect to Lam. So now instead of reading separately كالإحن المنفوش, now you read it كالإحن المنفوش. Okay, let's check if we have something more. And of course we have one more example here, Surah Al-Sajdah, verse number 6. I'm going to read this ayah for you in separate words. ذَلِكَ عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ الْعَزِيزُ الْرَحِيمُ. Once you know how to connect them, then you read with proper connection. In this ayah, it was important for me to bring, because now you'll understand why we didn't connect the first word and the second word. That's more important to understand. Okay, in this word, the kaf, the first word, the kaf is having fatha. Very nice, very nice. And now when it scans the second word, okay, it finds that the second word is already starting with ayn, with having fatha on it. Can you see that? Here, ayn is having fatha. So zalika has nothing to do with the second word for merging. It cannot be merged. It has to be read separately. So we read it ذَلِكَ عَالِمٌ. Okay, now the second word needs to check if it needs to connect to the third word. Okay, the third word. So in this case, let me write here 2, and then let me put here 3. Okay, now when we read alimu, the meme is having dhamma, and now when it checks the third word, it finds like alif is having no haraka. Now meme dhamma has to work hard to find sukoon or shadda. Okay, without this it cannot connect. So it finds like lam here is having sukoon. So what happens? Now you have to connect meme with lam. It finds that lam is having sukoon, so now you have to read it as alimul ghaibi. Okay, now it has to be connected. That's why I made the meme and the lam green, so you know that it needs to connect. There's a bridge you need to make from meme to lam. Now let's go to the next line. There is, so in this case, you can see like the waw here, okay, is having fatha. It's very important. Okay, you need to understand this one. The waw is having fatha, and then alif and lam is having no haraka. So what is happening here? The waw is ignoring them completely. Okay, no problem. The waw is still waiting for connection. Okay, so as we go to the third alphabet, sheen is having shadda with fatha, isn't it? Shadda with fatha. So what happens? Waw now gets the connection with sheen. Now it needs to connect. Now you need to read it as washahadati, washahadati. Okay, very nice. So now we have to see this ta kasra, because the word is finishing here. So the next word itself is starting with no haraka, alif, it's ignored. You know that, yes? And now what this ta needs to do? It needs to find sukoon or shadda. It finds sukoon here. So now what happens? This ta kasra will be connected or will be merged to lam. So now you read it washahadatil azizu. Okay, washahadatil azizu. Okay, now we connected them. So now let's check the next word, that is za dhamma. Okay, now the same rules apply everywhere when you connect and merge them together using shadda and sukun. Okay, what happens? Now you will check the last word is also starting with alif and lam, and they have no haraka. So what it does, it ignores them completely. It's not interested with any alphabet. It's going to jump to another ra. Why? Because this ra is having shadda, so it needs to connect, and shadda needs to be read twice. So ra will be broken down into ra sukoon plus ra fatha. Okay, so now what happens? Let's try to read it. Now it becomes al-azizur rahim, al-azizur rahim. Okay, this is completely ignored, alif and lam. Okay, now let's try to read it, the whole ayah once again. ذَلِكَ عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ Remember, you need to connect. وَالشَّهَادَةِ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ. So that's how you connect. Okay, alhamdulillah and mashallah that we have completed this session, and I hope that everybody benefited from this small lesson. And inna dina indallahil Islam.